All right, YouTube family, I got my coffee here. Today we're going to go over how to go from 25% body fat to 10%. A lot of you guys are in the 25 to 30 range. So I just wanted to give you guys that hope, but also the step-by-step guide exactly how to go from 25 to 10%. So if you're watching this, take some notes. Make sure you apply this if you're around 25 to 30, of course, before doing any workout routine. Consult your doctor. But I'm just going to tell you how I went from 25%. As you can see here, there's literally no definition. And I have a lot of like breast tissue, right? And then from here, really lean, all natural transformation, guys. So here we go. All right. So the first thing you want to do is change your mindset, right? Without a good mindset, if you never become the person that can maintain the goal, if you never become the person that can reach and maintain the goal easily, then there's no point of even getting to the goal, right? And you probably won't even get to the goal because you have an instant gratification mindset. You're impatient, you lack discipline, which is why your body looks more like this than like this, right? Because that's how I was too. I was chasing instant gratification. I was chasing different workouts, different diets, and I could never, ever just get lean and stay lean. And it's because of my mindset. I was lacking the patience. I was lacking the delaying gratification. All right. So you want to change your mindset and realize this is going to be a journey. It took you a long time to gain the fat. You're not going to lose the fat right away. All right. A lot of you guys want to lose it right away, even though it took you 10 years to gain it. That's not realistic. All right. One more thing that's super important. Listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you don't win the morning, don't expect to win the day. Your morning routine is so important for you. It's so important. It's going to keep you on track. It's going to give you structure. And then feeding your mindset is just as important as feeding your body. A lot of you guys are like, you know what? I'm just going to try this, that. And then you wonder why you can't maintain it. It's because your mindset is fucked, guys. You got to make sure your mindset's on. Got to make sure your mindset is on track. All right. So to get in your best physical shape, you must get in your best mental state, guys. You just have to. Your mind can take you further than your body can. Right. So when your body's tired, when you feel like sleeping in, when you're sore, you don't feel like going to the gym, your mind is what's going to push you. Your mindset is what's going to push you and keep you going. And with my mindset, that's why I know I'll never not have abs. I'll never not be in shape, just because the way my mindset is, right? And one of my favorite books, right? Because I recommend for morning routine. Let me walk you through my morning routine just so you know really quickly. I don't want to take too long on it, but reading 10 pages a day is super important. Of a very positive book like this, like reading David Goggins in the morning. Like I read this book, it was amazing, right? It makes me realize that, like, yes, I'm going through obstacles, but they're not as hard as the obstacles he went through were. So like that means that I can't be making excuses because he was abused. Like he had a lot of bad things happen to him, right? And he just pushed through it, right? So if he could push through that crazy stuff, I could push through feeling a little bit tired and waking up, right? Like getting perspective from someone else's struggles and seeing them get through something harder than you really helps. But then a lot of books are literally years and years of people's experience condensed, right? So you can read like 100 years of life experience in like 3 hours, which is amazing. Another thing I like to do is yoga or meditation just to get your mind clear, just to be present in the now. Very, very important. Gratitude as well, to get your mindset focused on the positive, not the negative. If you don't do gratitude, you'll focus on the negative. And then affirmations, of course, just so you can affirm exactly who you are and who you want to become, right? And then reading over your goals. That'll keep you on track with your goals. That's one of the biggest things I did, was just reading over my goals over and over and over again. I'm like, all right, I want to get to 10%. I want to get to 10%. I want to get to 10%. Because when you feel like you're slacking, or you feel like you're not aligned with your goals, you're going to feel off. But when you go back and you read your goals, you realize, oh, that's why I like to read my goals every day. You got to stay on track, guys. All right. Focus, guys, the power of focus. So here's the thing, right? Focus is literally the opposite of balance. So you can't be in balance and in focus at the same time. Because obviously, like the camera right now is focusing on me, so it's not focusing on the background. If it was to focus on me and the background, I wouldn't be as clear, right? I wouldn't be the subject. Everything would be the subject. So trying to focus on everything, you're going to lose a lot of efficiencies. My favorite quote is, he did each thing as if he did nothing else, which means when he focuses on one thing, he locks in on it so much that he focuses on that only, and then everything else is kind of takes a back burner, right? What is up with this game? Focus on one thing, you're focused on that, you're locked in. So like when your goal is to lose 15% body fat, that means you're not going out to drink. You're focused on that goal. You're meal prepping, you're doing this, you're doing that, right? You're not drinking, you're not going out with friends, you're not bulking, you're cutting, right? A lot of you guys bulk, then cut, then bulk, then cut, and you're just indecisive, right? But when you want to focus, you got to make the decision and just go. You got to make the decision and just go, guys. Got to be like, you know what? I'm locked in on this. I'm losing the fat, so I'm going to do everything I need to do. No back and forth, right? Focusing on the basics instead of trying something new every day is actually one of the best things that you could do, because a lot of times you see something new, you see Ozempic, you just see some random stuff, and then you try it, and then it doesn't work because you didn't get the foundational knowledge that you needed. You didn't focus on the basics. So the focus on working out is going to be strength training. Of course, you do not want to lose strength or up the reps and lighten the weights. That's going to make you lose a lot of muscle, and you're not going to be able to maintain your muscle. And we want to maintain our muscle mass, right? We don't want to overdo cardio, and you want to make sure you're tracking your numbers in the gym. So, like I said, I don't want you to lose strength, but if you're not tracking your numbers, how do you know if you're losing strength or gaining strength? Gym 5 to 6 times a week, right? If you're doing 5 days a week, then that's fine too. But if you do 4 days and then one day you go walking, that's fine as well. That works. All right, my actual routine. Let me try not to take too long going through this, but as you can see with this routine, it's a lot of just compound movements, and that's the main thing I want you to get from this, is that everything's compound movements. All right, there's a lot of compound movements, and we're hitting each muscle group twice a week. So that's the main thing that I want you to go through. It was an 8 day split, just because 8 to 10 days is usually the split, just so I could have enough rest days in between. But I just want you guys to know that most of it is going to be, a lot of compound movements, because that's what's going to grow the most muscle, especially if you're a beginner. It's going to work your core as well. And that's what's going to get you the abs without actually doing crunches, guys. So as you can see here, weighted crunches and hanging leg raises, which I skipped most of the time, which is pretty embarrassing. Now, dips and pull-ups, I do that before every pull day and every push day. Then I'll get onto some barbell incline bench press. Now, before I do 3 times 6 to 10, because I usually do that with 225 to 275, I would do like a warm up set with 45. But in my head, warm up sets are like implied. But I know you guys don't know about warm up sets, so you might actually just like jump in it. But you definitely want to do warm up sets first. Then I like the hammer strength, because it really focuses on your chest. Like, you get a good contraction, you isolate it. Then incline dumbbell, and then we get into the actual shoulders, face pulls, and rear delt, because my rear delts are a weakness. Everyone's rear delts are weaknesses. And then side raise to front raise. You get an amazing pump doing this. See the shoulder press, this is like one of the best movements for shoulder. All right, so that's like my push day, at least like my chest focused push day. And then pull day, I warm up the rowing machine just because it makes sense, because, you're going to be using those muscles. And then I do 4 sets of 10 to 15 on pull-ups. I've been doing like 15 lately because I got leaner. But like when I was starting my cut, I was probably doing like 10 reps because I was, 226. It's like dying. Wide grip pull downs, close grip pull downs, like all that, just making sure I'm getting my width. And then I finish it off with some thickness. And I do shrugs, not on my shoulder day. I know some people do it on the shoulder day, but I do it on my back days. And then legs are quad focus. Stair stepper is like the easiest way to warm up your hips, and then some hip abduction if you want to. Then you get into some calf raises, body weight lunges, like you superset those. Then you superset this, and then you go into heavy squats. Now, listen, the main part of this workout is the squats. Like if I took out the squats right here, or 6 sets of squats, if I took this out, I'd probably be able to do like 20 more sets of legs. But when I do these high intensity heavyweight squats, I cannot do like anything else. Like it's super intense. All right. And then hack squats and goblet squats. And then I take a rest day. Then I do push day again. This one has more tricep and some more rear delt as well. And then pull day, as you can see, I do deadlifts here. This is more of like a thickness pull day. This pull day over here is more width. This one's more thickness, right? So you got more horizontal movements. So vertical movements are width, horizontal movements are thickness. All right. And then we have a rest day, and then we have some quads and glutes, hip thrusts, hack squats, all those things, right? Reverse lunges. And all of these things right here, like I said, most of these workouts are great for your core. And that's why when people ask me, like, what do you do for abs? What do you do for abs? I schedule weighted crunches and hanging leg raises and absolutely never do them. But I make sure I do my heavy squats and everything else. All right, so nutrition is going to be super important. High protein caloric deficit, of course. Your focus is going to be on whole foods and volume. Using the volume method, I always use the volume method. I swear by it. My clients get great results from it. I get great results from it. I feel great when I do it. All right. The more junk you eat, the more junk you'll crave. You just can't get around it. Okay. So 0.8 to 1 gram per pound body weight of protein. So when I started out, I was like 226. I'm probably hitting like 190 to 200 grams of protein. All right, which is more than enough. Like I always say, honestly, most people don't even get 100 grams of protein, which is crazy. And as guys, like I don't know a lot of guys who get 150 grams of protein consistently, unless they're like tracking for like 2 weeks. Like they don't get it consistently throughout the year. So if you're getting zero point 0.8 to 1 gram per pound body weight, that's good. If you're like a higher body fat percentage, then 0.8 to 1 gram per pound lean body mass. All right. All right, so my initial macros. So I had to go way back to actually find this. So yeah, it took a while to actually find this, guys, because I had to go way back, because this first part of the transformation was 2022, 2021. So yeah, 2021. So as you can see, I started off at about 2,400 calories. Um, as you can see right here, I mean, I only got 2,000 this day, but I made sure I got my protein in as well. So you can see my protein was pretty high. It was at like 200. Like I said, I was 226, and then my carbs were pretty high. And you'll see my sugar's higher than usual, and it gets lower as I start to lean out, right? So you could literally copy these foods and eat them too, and you'll be fine. Like you'll definitely get results. So I would do raisins because I have low iron levels, and I don't want any, like, I don't want to feel tired at all. So protein, oatmeal with raisins. I put everything in breakfast, but I don't eat. Obviously, I don't eat all this for breakfast, but I put everything in breakfast. And then like snack during work would be skinny pop and some what is it called? Almonds, and then probably like a Fairlife protein shake. And then this would be like my ground turkey breast and then some cooked rice. I would sometimes do 93.7. And yeah, just protein shakes, very simple. Same thing here. I keep it pretty simple, guys. Keep it pretty simple. As you can see, raisins here too, like raisins and oatmeal in both spots. So I keep it very simple all the time. I like to stick to a certain amount of foods. So I was between 23 to 2,400. All right. Like I said, high protein caloric deficit is going to be super important. Focusing on whole foods and volume, yeah, it's going to be like the most important thing, guys. All right, so my macros ended closer between like 1,600 to 1,900. Now I never even tried 1,600 until like I wanted to get like super lean. Obviously, I didn't do it every day. I would kind of that's why it's such a large range because if I eat 1,900, I know I could lose about 2 pounds, per day. But if I had a day where I was like super hungry and I went up to like on leg day, if I had a day where I ate like 2,100, then the next day I would do like 1,700. And then the day I would eat 2,200, then I'll go down to 1,600. So at the end of the week, because what I do at the end of the week, I add up my macros for each week. I had like a Google Doc sheet. I should have posted it here, but I had a Google Doc sheet and where I made a table and I add up my macros, like my overall calories. And then I divide it. I add up 7 days. Then I divide it by seven. And then I average out where it is, right? So at the end of the week, it needs to be between 16 and 1,900, right? So that means if I ate 2,500 one day, but 1,400 the next day, and then 2,200 the next day, you know what I mean? But most of the time, I kept it pretty like 18, 1,900, right? So yeah. So this is pretty much what I stick to when I'm at lower calories, protein bars, and then more egg whites, and then cheddar cheese. Sometimes I do provolone because it's lower in calories. Then I like tater tots, and I like more protein bars. Just a bunch of protein bars, as you can see, just like spamming protein bars because it's super simple and quick, right? And then I keep my fiber high so I can be full. My sugar's way lower than before. Like you could look how lower my sugar is. My sugar was what 74 when I was eating 2,300, and then it goes way down. And I notice when my sugar is lower, my jaw looks leaner, I look leaner, I look more cut. So and I don't have as many crashes, so I feel way better. All right, and then in order to get even leaner, right? This is me about like 193. Then I added in 10K steps once a week, just because I didn't get a lot of steps during like the whole cut. I was doing like heavy lifting intensity in the gym, but I wasn't getting a lot of steps like throughout the actual process because I was doing one-on-one nursing. All right, so then I added in 10K steps once a week. I always do cardio for my workout like 10 minutes before just to warm up. I don't really count it as cardio, especially when it's cold outside. And then I upped my once a week to 3 to 4 times a week at the park, right? And that really helped. So um, to this day, I probably average like 5K steps a day. So if I get like 2K steps for 3 days, I might do some, two 10K days or something like that. Because I'm all about averages. Like at the end of the week, if you're around your average, then you're good to go. Like I said, if you're trying to eat 1,900 calories and one day you eat 2,200, but the next day you eat 1,600, it's going to average out. All right, now this is one of the most important parts, guys, the weekend mentality. So a lot of us have a mentality that the weekend is when we watch football, we watch basketball, which is fine, but we have the concept that we could just take 2 days off and it's okay, like we'll be fine. Like the calories on the weekends just don't matter, and that can't be further from the truth, guys. Because remember, the weekend is literally 1/3 of your entire week. So if you take off the weekend and you just do whatever you want to, and you just eat however you want to, and you just turn off your all-in mindset, then that's going to throw off, all your progress. But then going into Monday, you're going to be even more discouraged. And so many people have that mentality. Like the weekend is a made-up concept, guys. Like eating good during the weekdays and binging on the weekends is the single biggest waste of time. It's counterproductive. You're literally wasting time, and time is our most valuable asset, guys. So stop throwing away all your progress on the weekend for no reason. Like make better choices on the weekend, stay consistent on the weekend. Just because it's the weekend doesn't mean like you just stop doing everything. Like your goals don't change just because it's the weekend. And you know that if you give into instant gratification, when Monday comes around and you're up 4 pounds, you're going to be very pissed. So delay gratification and be consistent. All right. So those are the main things I did to go from 25% body fat to 10% body fat, guys. So like I said, always consult your doctor before incorporating any of this. But if you want to get to the next level, these are going to be the things that you want to do. Like the mentality is probably like 80% of it. Of course, the workouts are important, but most of us are going to incorporate some kind of, compound movements in our workouts anyways. It's the mindset that's going to get you there, because consistency is one of the biggest factors. Discipline is one of the biggest factors as well. Hope this video helped. Like, comment, subscribe for more.